Everybody is raving about how woke and feminist the Barbie movie is and either loves it or hates it. I can see why, but I think that we need more people to pay attention to a very positive and powerful message it holds for men. You are Kenough. Wait, I feel like I need a pink top for this. Do I need a pink top? Apparently I do. Yeah, I know the movie has been out for ages. What can I say? I only started this channel recently and I've got things to say. Sue me. Also, I know my hair is a mess. It's because I just came out of the sea. I have to admit that when I first heard about the Barbie movie, I thought it would be just another crappy attempt at capitalizing on nostalgia, kinda like live-action Asterix and Obelix or Dumbo, whatever. Then I started hearing about it from friends, saw a couple articles and thought, what? A film men don't want to see? Too woke for its own good? Ben Shapiro is losing his beep over it? Well, now I need to find out what all this controversy is about. So, my partner and I went to see it together, sneaking some delicious crisps and juice into the cinema. Criminal, I know. We're partners in crime. Also, screw paying a fortune for greasy popcorn and Coke. Okay. Cinematically, I think that Barbie is nothing revolutionary. But it's well made, the directing is good, the sets are very clever, and the camera work and editing are spot on. But most of all, it's just really fun. If you haven't seen it, don't worry, I will keep spoilers to the minimum. The main story follows Barbie, who lives in the Barbie world among all the different Barbies, Kens and other characters from the franchise. Accompanied by a Ken, she travels to the real world and back, meets humans, challenges her views, establishes her identity, finds her courage and retakes her own world from Ken's. The plot offers a great excuse to talk about women's rights and sexism. And whether you like it or not, I think it does communicate some things in a very accessible way. It's fun, and it manages to have a serious talk with people without an off-putting serious talk vibe. Nice. Plenty of people have discussed this main story, its themes and its value, so I don't want to take anything away from it, but I'd like to do something slightly different. Something nobody ever does. I would like to invite you to pay attention to Ken. Wait, who even is Ken? Well, exactly. What's even the point of Ken? The film starts by making one quip after another about how Kens are pretty much superfluous in the Barbie world. All Kens yearn for Barbie's attention. All they do to impress them. In fact, Barbie's attention is pretty much their only currency. They show off, quibble, get into fights and dance-offs, anything for a Barbie's smile. But this never works. The Barbies only ever see them as some guys on the beach. Kens want relationships, Barbies don't even seem to notice. Kens want to stay the night, but it turns out that it's girls' night. Every night. As the main character's story progresses, it becomes more and more obvious that Barbie's attention and validation are the only things that matter in Ken's life. It's the basis on which he judges himself and other Kens. Yes, he might be great at beach, but it only matters if she sees it. He doesn't care if he hurts himself, as long as she notices. One look from her melts his heart, but her disinterest just breaks it. Even as he goes rogue and takes over Barbie world, it is clear that he would give it up in an instant if he could only be with Barbie, if only she would see him the way he wants to be seen. In the end, the way Barbies regain control is by pretending that they do in fact give Kens the attention and validation they crave, and thus make them drop everything else. To Kens, being seen by Barbies is everything. To Barbies, Kens are mostly a nuisance. If Barbie was at all hard to watch for me as a man, it's not because the socio-political power dynamics in the Barbie world are an inversion of the real world. It's because the emotional and relationship dynamics are its mirror. Many men see exactly how pathetic this is. Many decide to check out too, but I think that they mostly do it wrong. They view the world as a place in which they need to constantly fight for the slightest bit of female validation, where they perfect their profiles and swipe for weeks yet get nothing, while women get a match every other swipe. Where they give loads of compliments but get none. Where they pay good money for female company while women would only pay to get rid of them. A world in which women's attention, desire and company are worth everything, but men's are nothing. These guys start asking themselves, why are we doing all of this? Is it even worth it? Wouldn't it be better to not need all of this female validation and live your life going your own way? Ken agrees. Men should not be dependent on female validation. We shouldn't judge ourselves or other men based on our dating success. We shouldn't have to do all the desperate, stupid and dangerous things to impress women, and we shouldn't feel so heartbroken, defeated and angry when we fail to do so. Men should do all the awesome things and become better people for their own sake, not to impress women. But I think that while many guys say this, they don't really live it. How do I know that? Well, it's easy. I don't need a llama, but I don't go around telling everybody how much I don't need a llama. However, these guys seem to constantly obsess over women and tell everybody how much they don't need them. So the truth is, I think, most of them are going their own way out of resentment. They feel hurt and cheated, they feel it's unfair. They think they deserve better and they blame women for denying it to them. But if female validation was never such a valuable currency in the first place, then why all those strong emotions about being denied it? Why be so angry over something that's just not such a big deal? Well, because it is a big deal after all, isn't it? It's because these guys might be denying that it matters and professing the superiority of their own way, but deep down they still feel incomplete, they still need it. They don't feel like they are themselves enough without a woman. And damn, do I know what it feels like myself. If you want to hear some more of my story and how I got to where I am, like and subscribe to the channel, you'll find out soon enough. None of this is new. History, literature and cinema are littered with male characters who are crestfallen because a woman won't notice them. It's how half the adventures start. It's a trope in everything from heroes' journeys to rom-coms. How many stories do you know where the male hero proves himself, defeats the monsters, fixes the system, averts the disaster, but the real reward is not that the world is a better place now. The real reward is that she has noticed him. From the moment boys start consuming any cultural messages at all, we learn this one thing. Without a woman, we are nothing. None of our skills, money and power mean anything if a woman doesn't appreciate us for them. And thus, the tropes of women as damsels in distress or heroes' prizes, which are so criticized by feminists, are actually pretty horrible for men too. Because women don't want to be treated like prizes for heroes, they have better things to do than to validate men for showing off. But men also have better things to do than to show off and go on daft quests to earn validation. It's all a massive waste of time for everyone. And Ken, of all people, has figured this out. You see, Ken was like that too. But the main reason he goes to the real world with Barbie is to impress her. His attempt at turning Barbie world into Ken's world looks very much like going his own way. But in the end, he realizes that this was all stupid. He shouldn't need her validation. He is not incomplete without it. In fact, her validation only had value because the Kens wanted it so much. And most importantly, he realizes that the reason he felt crap is not her fault. It's not that Barbies wanted to deny Kens their validation, rather, they just never wanted to play this stupid validation game at all. He used to feel worthless without it. He felt not enough. But now he can see that this was a silly metric to measure himself by. And once he banishes it from his head, he realizes that he is Kenough. And you too are Kenough. I encourage you to really reflect on this. Do you feel incomplete without a woman? Is female validation a currency in your life? How many of the things you do because you hope to get it? Would you be doing things differently if you didn't feel you needed to earn female validation? Because you don't. Women's attention and validation only seem to have so much value because we give it to them. It's one massive speculation bubble and we need to deflate it. How? By simply doing the things that make your life better and more fulfilling for your own sake. Who cares if she's looking? So stop feeling like without women you're not enough. To paraphrase a great thinker, a man needs a woman like a fish needs a bicycle. You are Kenough. Stop doing things to get women's validation and start doing them for yourself. Stop blaming women for not giving you something you don't need, they don't owe you, and it's not even worth that much. And most of all, stop trying to impress and instead focus on becoming genuinely impressive. When you do all that, you will notice soon enough that dating no longer feels like playing with a deck stacked against you, desperately trying to win something unreachable and feeling worthless when you don't. Instead, it is a meeting of equals who can appreciate and respect the genuine awesomeness in each other. Want to learn more about how to feel Kenough and build amazing relationships? Like and subscribe to my channel. I'm Simon Vogt, philosopher and explorer of masculinity, handing you the man's compass.